Hello and welcome everybody to this Azure Synapse Espresso. Today I'm joined again by Artur, which means we're going to talk about dedicated SQL pools. In last video we talked about hash distributed tables. Today we're going to talk about the other type, which is round-robin distributed tables. Now, Artur, please enlighten us. What is a round-robin distributed table?
Hey, so round-robin distributed tables is another structure that we have inside of Synapse, which is it's a little bit different from what we discussed before with the hash distributed. The round-robin, instead of having a specific function or a key to determine where the record is going to be placed, the system automatically does a round-robin fashion where it goes to one distribution, places one record, then the next one, then the next one, and goes over and over and over until you have all the records being loaded into this table. Why is this so interesting, or why do we have the hash distributed and the round robin if they are both distributing data inside of Synapse? The hash function, it will always take some time to determine where to place the record. Okay, it's very good for you to read data, but it's not that good for you to write data. The round robin, it's the opposite. It's very fast for you to load data. So if you're doing, for example, the initial loading of your raw data from the outside of the Synapse into your first staging table, loading into a round robin will make things run much faster. Okay, so this is one of the good scenarios. The second good scenario is, imagine that you have a data set or a table that opposite to what we had in the hash distributed, you don't have a key that is actually good enough to give you a good distribution or gives you a small data skew. So in that scenario, if you don't have a good distribution key, the round robin is going to help you a lot to get over that situation. Well, this was the good part. The bad part is that if you use the hash distribution to read, the performance is much better because you know how your data is placed. You know where your records are, so the system can move much faster and balance the workload in a much better way. If you do this with a round robin, if you just running a select from that table with a filter, then yes, it's going to run without any issues. But if you have to join with any other table, you're going to introduce something new that is called data movement. You're going to do something that is called a shuffle. We're going to have, it's in our agenda to have a session later with this, going into details of what is data movement, what is shuffle, and what are the impacts of those movements in the Synapse. But yeah, this is the major point. Round robin is very good for you to do a fast load, for you to get data into Synapse as quickly as possible. It's good for when you don't have a natural distribution key that you can use because of your business data, but it will have an extra cost when you're doing joins or reads from those tables.
Okay, great. So, Artur, can you show us how to create such a table?
Sure. So let me show you what we need to do to create the round robin table. So this is the same script that we used for the last video on the hash distributed. But the thing that we see here is that instead of having distribution equals hash, we now have distribution equals round robin. That's the only thing that you need to do. You don't need to change anything. There's also an interesting thing about the round robin. Round robin is the default structure for everything. Round robin, clustered, column store, indexes are the two base defaults for the Synapse. So let's imagine that you declare this statement here. You're going to say create table, order table, you have the columns, you have the index type that you want to use, you have the distribution type that you have to use. Perfect. But since these two values are the defaults, actually if you go here and you remove this, if you run something like this, it's always going to be round robin column store, clustered column store index. This is, on one side, this is good because this will allow you to quickly test your script to see if everything is perfect or if it works inside of Synapse. The downside, the bad thing that we have here is that sometimes people forget that these are the defaults. These are the defaults, and what happens is that after a while they have the entire database with round robin CCI, which we'll discuss once we have the sessions on the data shuffle and the data movements. You're going to see the impact this thing has, and having all your database with this type of structures can eventually hinder or in performance and cause you some headaches. But it's nothing that we can't resolve.
Awesome, Artur. So basically, we've talked about two different table types right now. We've got the round-robin distributed, we've got the hash distributed. We've learned that round-robin distribution is very, very fast for loading data, but while hash distribution is better for querying data, because when you start querying data from a round-robin distribution and you're joining that data or aggregating that data, you will incur something called data shuffle, and we'll have another video on that later. Now, if this was the first time you're visiting our channel and you've liked the content, subscribe, because we've got loads of Synapse content on this channel. If you liked the video, give us a big thumbs up, and if you have any questions or you like to see any other movies, just write them in the comments and we'll definitely get back to you. As always, from the Azure Synapse Espresso team, this is Stijn.
This is Artur.
Thank you. Bye.